Okay, we're now going to talk about transformation of functions. It says, given the following function, graph the following transformations. So we've got this function f of x, and we've got some points on it. Like I know this is a point -2, -2. Let's get our points. This is a point -1, 0. This is the point 0, 1. This is the x-intercept 1, 0, right? And we've got some stuff in the middle. We could write a piecewise function for this if we want to, but we're going to leave that off for now. Actually, this should be the point -2, -2. Sorry about that. So our first thing says take your f of x and add 1 to it. Remember, our f of x is our y value. So really what we're doing is we're taking our y value and we're adding 1 to it. It doesn't say to do anything to the x value. We're going to leave that the same. So this first point is -2, -2. I'm going to add 1 to the y value, so it becomes -2, -1. This point, -1, 0, is going to become -1, +1. The point 0, 1 is going to become the point 0, 2. And then the point 1, 0, we're going to add 1 to the y value again. So that's just going to be the point 1, 1. And now we connect those dots. So you can see that when we add on the outside, that this shifted this graph up 1. So you guys are smart people. I believe you can figure this out. If I have an f of x minus 1, when I had a +1 on the outside, it shifted it up 1. When I have a y minus 1 on the outside, it's going to shift it down 1. Again, we're taking our y value and we're subtracting 1 from that output. So this is going to become -2, -3. This is going to become the point -1, -1. This is going to become the point I shift it down 1, so that's going to be 0, 0. And then I shift this again down 1, so this becomes the point 1, -1. When I connect those dots, you can see I'm not changing the shape of this at all, but I am shifting it. This shifted down 1. Now the next one looks a little different. And I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to bring this graph down, so give me just 1 second. Okay, now these are a little bit more complicated to visualize here. We can see that the plus is now happening on the input, correct? So we got a +1 on the inside. Now, when we had the +1 on the outside, it shifted it up 1. What this +1 on the inside means it happens one spot earlier. What do I mean by earlier? That means that we read a graph left to right, correct? So that +1 means that this y value is going to happen one place earlier. What that means is we are going to shift this to the left one place because we want it to happen one spot earlier. Again, this can be difficult to wrap your head around, but what I'm going to say just to help you out with it is if it's plus on the inside, it moves it to the left. If it's plus on the outside, it moves it up. So we're going to be taking all of these points and shifting them to the left one. So I had the point -2, -2. I'm going to move it to the left one, so it's now going to be over here at -3, 2. Notice I didn't change the y value, I only altered the x value. This point is -1, 0. I'm going to move it to the left one, so it's going to become -2, 0. This point 0, 1, I move it to the left one, it's going to be -1, 1. This point down here is at 1, 0. When I move it to the left one, it's going to be over here at 0, 0. So a plus on the inside moves it to the left one. Finally, actually, not finally. Okay, so +1 on the inside moves it left one. Minus on the inside is going to move it right 2 places. So this point over here is at -2, 2. I'm going to move it to the right. It's going to be now at 0, -2. This point, -1, 0, move to the right 2 points. It's going to be right here at -1, 0. 0, 1, move it to the right 2 places. It's going to be 2, 1. 1, 0, move it to the right 2 places. It's going to be over here at 3, 0. And you can see what we did here is we shifted this graph to the right 2 places. All right, so now I want to get a sense of what's going on here. We can see if we can draw a pattern here. Notice when we're doing stuff on the outside of the f of x, it is a vertical change. When we were doing stuff inside of the f of x, that's a horizontal change. So if I put a negative on the outside, do you think that it's going to affect this graph up and down or left or right? So when we take a look, it says just basically take your y value and make it negative. So when I try to do that, now this is going to be a little weird here because I'm going to be flipping this. I have a y value of negative 2. If I make it negative, negative 2 becomes a positive 2. So this becomes the point negative 2, positive 2. This point here, negative 1, 0. Well, I can't. Negative 0 is still 0, so that's still going to be right here. 0, 1, I make that y value negative 1. It becomes 0, negative 1. And then same thing here, 0 or 1, 0, make 0 negative, it's still 0. So it ends up here. And what do we have here? What happened here? It flipped this original graph over. So this is a reflection across. Which axis did it flip over? It flipped over the x-axis. So a negative on the outside will flip it over the x-axis.